We should recalculate or recalibrate. You think it's still good there? Least, oh boy.
Calibrate?
Least. There we go. Least common multiple. Oh, don't forget, or don't you forget, when you go to the author later today, you're supposed to have pencil and paper. But you won't be in my class, because that's whatever you have at 1 o'clock. Actually, we might just come back to lunch.
Yes!
Let's go! I skipped 2 days and we skipped 2 days.
Before you cheer too loudly, notice that this is all on film, and whatever teacher you have at that time that you're cheering on their class, they will know.
Wasn't me, I swear.
It wasn't me.
It was Tyler.
Yeah, I hate it.
Tyler was the one who cheered.
I will give them a copy.
They will.
of this.
We're gonna just he's FBI agent. No.
Actually, they will.
When
Mr. Ron, you can copy this for me.
Not right now.
thank you.
Thanks.
No.
Okay.
FBI agent. Don't screw this up.
Please understand this, those of you, see, there's a certain amount of 8th graders here who, for lack of wanting to go the extra mile, think they know what's going on, but rather than check to see if they're right by looking at their notes, will just take the chance that they get it right, get it wrong. Least common multiple very, very, very frequently gets mixed up with
Greatest common factor.
Greatest common factor. Some of you, see, I am a personal testimony to this. All right, I believe I've got some sort of attention deficit disorder myself, as I think everybody really has it to a certain degree. It's just some of us have more than others, and I probably do as well. But I've learned over the course of my long life that unless I take some preventive measures, I will forget everything. For example, you know, if I need to remember to bring something to school, let's say I have a bag of ice in my freezer at home that I want to bring to school. I know for a fact, given my past experiences, that unless I do something, I will forget that bag of ice in the morning. So what do? One thing I've learned to do is
You do something different.
I do something stupid that I have to look at and go, why in the world would I do that? Which in my head pops in and say, well, I must have. For example, you know what I do? I take the key to my car and I put it like in the visor, or I put it somewhere in my car where I would have to look for it. And then when I get in the car, I'm like, well, where's that stupid key? And then I'm like, oh, I need the bag of ice because I put this here.
Nice.
So it has to be something that's kind of drastic, you know. Put your shoe somewhere where you can't find it. So when you're going.
Put it in the freezer.
So,
that would make me
because if
forget
you
it
can't
anymore.
remember after, like, why would I put my shoe over there? If you're not questioning yourself when you do something like stupid like that, you'd be the next level, Parker.
Put the shoe in the
Oh,
freezer
wait,
with the ice.
I do a lot of stupid things.
Put the shoe on top of the ice bag in the freezer.
Put the shoe in the ice.
Point being this, people.
Put the ice in the shoes.
First step in getting better is admitting you've got the problem. If that's you, it only takes 2 seconds for you to open up your notes and make sure that you know that least common multiple is the thing. Huh. How about that? You know, make sure that you know the difference between least common multiple and greatest common factor, because it's really not that difficult. Now, looking at this, here's the deal. Let's go back to 6th grade or 5th grade when this was simple. Least common multiple of 10 and, I don't know, 15. When you did least common multiple of those, what did you do? You were supposed to just sit down and write the multiples of 10 and write the multiples of 15 until you came up with one. And the multiples of 10 are not 1, 2, 5, and 10. That's factors. They are 10, 20, 30, etc., 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 etc. 15 would be 15. And then once you come up with the smallest one, you'd have the least common multiple. Now please understand, how many common multiples are there of 15 and 30? Or 10 and 15? Yeah, you can't, they're countless. They go on forever, because whatever multiple you could give me, I could just go 30 higher and that would be the next multiple. So you can never get to the other end. However, factors are, if multiples are infinite, factors are, what's the opposite of infinite? Finite. Remember that word. If you hear in math finite, that means it can be counted, it comes to an end. Now, that's all well and good till you come to this, ladies and gentlemen. What if I said, give me the least common multiple of 11, 12, and 18. Somebody right now. Parker, what is the least common multiple of 11, 12, and 18? Quickly, come on, it's not that hard. Go, go, go.
100.
11 doesn't go into 100.
Oh, not 2.
You were going to say 1 is a factor, weren't you?
I was.
You weren't you. See, look at it's already. I was talking about it. And you're still getting it mixed up. For those of you that don't know, and I don't know what it is, maybe Mrs. Walter, you know the least common multiple of 11, 12, and 18.
11, 12, and 18.
Orange circle.
30. See,
No.
when in doubt,
11 doesn't go into
30.
44.
46.
44. Well, neither 12 or 18 go into 44.
It's not 22. It's not
None.
33.
Not 44. It's not 55. It's probably not 66 either.
None.
No, there are.
One.
We're going to get to how we get to that.
88.
Oh, I don't
You weren't supposed to know. That was
Oh,
a
good.
tough one.
Can I borrow Parker and Abram for the 9:30 presentation?
Yeah, at 9:30 or you can do before
Like
that?
9:20 would be
Sure.
good.
That would be perfect.
And then the other one there was me, and the last one you're already going to. So they only have to miss a
Yes.
little bit.
You might want to make sure they're focused because
He's not very
sometimes when they're together,
1.
sometimes when they're together, they both synchronize who's spinning which way on their little chairs back there. And sometimes
She's
they
a little
spin
nervous, so you better like make me
Good luck.
proud. She's like, kids have never clicked my stuff for me before. I'm like,
You
okay.
say you haven't seen these.
I was like, these kids are top of the line.
Yeah.
They're the powerful clickers.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
don't disappoint me.
I believe Miss Kayla had to mention that to stick with the program there. Sometimes all those pretty
She
little
said it was
colored
She said it
buttons.
was a joke.
They-
Yeah.
Oh, did she?
And it's not even my
To
job.
make me
so-
proud. Yeah, 9:29:55. We got down.
Yep, I'll set them down there.
Yeah, right.
Okay, back to this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it is. Not that I'm that smart, but I can tell you I have no idea what it is but there is, when you can't automatically figure it out, there is a little pattern, or there is a little formula, or there's some directions, or there's an algorithm, if you remember back in the day, that you can do this. Step number 1 to doing this is prime factorize everything, which these numbers, that's not hard. If you prime factorize 11, you end up with 1 and 11. If you prime factorize 12, you get, prime factorize 11, it is just 11, sorry, I was doing factors. 12 is what, 2 times 3, correct? That's the prime factorization of it. 18 is
3
2
times
times
3 times
9 times 3 times 3. Got that? Step number 1. Step number 2 is you take the take of each factor. I'm not sure how to say this, and I'm not saying it very well. The greatest number of times it appears in one group, in one of the groups. The greatest number of times it appears in any group. Doing it's a lot easier than saying it. Which simply means this. You look at all the 3 different groups. Which group has the most 2s? This one. It has 2 2s. What group has the most 3s? This one. It has 2 3s. And which group has the most 11s? This one, which is 1. If there is a tie and 2 groups had 2 2s, you would just take 2 2s. You don't multiply it. And then, unfortunately, step number 3 is you have to remultiply that, because that will be your least common multiple. So, I don't know, the quickest way to do this, is there a quick way, anybody? 3 times 3 is 9 times 11 is 99, and 4 times 99 would be the same thing as having 4 100s minus 4, so it must be 396, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Amazing.
Of course.
Top-notch.
My man.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I mean, 99 is almost 100, it's 1 away from 100, so if you have 4 hundreds, you take 1 away from each of them, you get 396. How many people were thinking 396 when I asked them for the least common multiple of this, but just
Oh, yes.
didn't want to
I
show it?
instantly knew it had to be 396.
I mean,
Because
I just had this.
Now, unfortunately, children, you also have to be able to do this with letters. And it's going to be a lot easier. You really don't have to do that all the time, but let's take a look here. Here is problem number 17. 6p squared s cubed and 2m squared s squared and 8m 3 m to the third p. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, here's where you have to understand your mathematical capacities. Some of you are sharper at math than others. Some of you think you're sharper at math than others, and some of you understand that you struggle with math. If you struggle with math, you're kind of behind the 8 ball in the sense that maybe you're going to have to do this every time. If you're sharper at math, you can kind of look at this and go, yeah, I know what the answer is right now by looking at it. But I'm going to walk you through the steps. That works no matter what. This board is incredibly short.
Wow.
You can't pull those out at least a half an inch in the middle. Okay, back to this. What is the prime factorization of this? 2 times 3 times p times s times s times s. Correct? Prime factor of this is 2 times m times s times s. Prime factorization of that is 2 times 2 times 2 times m times m times m times p. And then if you go to the rule that says take the group that has the most of each, well, how many 2's do I have to take? 3 2's. Are there any other numerical factors? Yeah, this one here. 1, 3. So the number part's going to be 24, which you probably could have got by just looking at those numbers. Which group has the most p's? This one with p times p. Which one has the most s's? This one with 3 of them. Which group has the most m's? That one with 3 of them. And then when you remultiply all that together, 24 p squared s cubed m cubed. And once again, do you have to do this? No. If you understand and can just look at that and go, well, 6, 2, and 8, if those were the bottom of fractions, 24 would be my thing. And then you just take the group that has the most. Factors, remember we took the group that had the fewest or what they had in common? This one you just take the most of everything. This had the most p's, this had the most s's, this had the most m's. And then you're home. Some of you, what I just said, just went, and if that's the case, then you have to follow these rules until it doesn't go. Now, here we go. What is the greatest common factor of these things? Greatest common factor. This is the least common multiple, LCM. What would be the greatest common factor? What can you take out of all 3 of them? You can take a 2, they don't all have M, so you can't take an M out of them. Do they all have P's? No. Do they all have S's? No. So there you go. That is the greatest common factor of those. That's why you have notes so you can look back and see. All right, here we go. Let's take a test. A test drive. Here we go. We'll see how sharp as a tax is. We got 4 k to the 4th, p to the 3rd, n squared, and we've got 5 k squared, p cubed, and we've got 20, what does that say, n to the 4th, k cubed. Give me both the least common multiple and the greatest common factor. Let's check your understanding. And again, some of you can just look at that right now and spit out the answers. Others of you need to follow the handy dandy little notes that were given there. And that's, we've all been different gifts. According to the grace of God given. Done?
No.
Close?
Yes.
By the way, prime factorization is done in both those things. One, you take what they have in, the most they have in common, one you just take the group that has the most of. Everybody's planning on being here tonight, right? Alright, so should we do this savage and parking? You guys gotta go. Least common multiple. Again, you're asking yourself what group has the most of what. If you have 4, 5, and 20, what's the least common multiple there? 20. Which group has the most K's?
K4.
K4. Hey, thank you. Which group has the most P's?
Q. Or 4, yeah.
Yeah, they both have P to the third. Wow, what is going on there? So what, K cubed? 4. So P to the third. Oh, there's a 4. Is that, no, that's an N.
No, it's K to the 4th.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
That's
it's
K to the fourth, P to the third.
Oh, well, that's because my pen wasn't working. That must have been the-
What?
K to the 4th. P cubed, which group has the most K's? K3, right?
We already
did K.
Okay.
It's N to
It's
the
all
4th.
the pen.
You laugh now. Wait till you get to be 51 years old. You won't laugh.
It's N to the 4th.
You don't look like 51 years
Where's N to the 4th?
In the 20.
Alright, then greatest common factor. I have no rebuttal to that. Now, greatest common factor is if you prime factorize what they have in common.
20.
4, 5, and 20.
20.
No.
Nothing.
The only thing would be 1.
Or
1.
So you would.
What number can you take out of 4, 5, and 20? You can't take a 4 out of that. You can't take a 5 out of 4. It is just 1. How about what do they have in common for letters? This
K
is squared
squared.
to the 4th, K squared, K cubed. So K squared. They don't all have P's and they don't all have N's. So this is the only common factor that they would have. These common multiple common factor. Parker and Abram head off to the wild, wild west there. So it's time.